I hope it works.
Friday we went to her.
Oh.
She's had her convertible for 27 years. And the last new car she got was in 2000. And she had 37,000 miles on it. We were going to buy her a new one.
And you saw what that said.
2016.
You're allowed to do it.
Then she had all these seizures and couldn't drive. So she wants a small SUV. She doesn't want to.
Well, if they're making decisions right there.
Look at that.
Yeah, what'd you end up with?
Well, we're going back to
Yeah, I just want to run it.
I like them. I haven't bought a car yet. My sister comes from Syracuse to get cars there because she says it's a better price and they're great to deal with. I think they've bought 2 or 3 cars there.
Now, what's your SUV?
Mine is a Ford Escape. It's 8 years old already.
Because we
never had a car that long.
Chris Mazarella, my next door neighbor, has
A newer one, though, doesn't she? I
She's got
see
a
her at
second one
church.
now.
Yeah.
And she's Lily's 5'10", and so she drove that. And she likes either the Highlander for Toyota or the Ram. And we haven't driven it because color is important to her.
I can understand that. Isn't that how you pick a car?
So I told her, what you can do is find something that's acceptable.
Oh, isn't she adorable?
Lisa for 3 years.
Her accent and the way she delivers the stories. I mean, she's so animated and yeah.
And
Hi,
16, almost 17
nice
years.
to see you.
We got it in 99. Then only had
How many times are we going to do this thing?
many miles.
How many ways? Good, how are you?
Yeah.
What's your reading?
I didn't eat dinner before I came here, did you?
Oh, yeah, I never make it.
Oh, I could not eat and get a shower and get here and
How do you
come.
do chores?
No, I don't do chores weekends. But I will tell you that the food last night was good. So we were doing burger, yeah, it was real good.
So where was that?
I'm having that bread.
Where was Papa?
Papa was playing poker.
He was me. I was going to
Carol.
speak
Carol's tough.
old report in color today, and I'm glad so he's got this for us.
Oh, he does. Yeah, and that's why I like to include her.
Last week, what's this last week? I did my report. We didn't have any trouble.
Yeah. You have a tip?
Yeah, if you go to settings to display, and then it should give you an option for a dual screen.
Well,
Last week was automatic.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Windows 10.
So settings, display. Should I break it?
You broke it.
Yeah.
No, I think it was me that used it last.
You were last week.
I was.
You were.
We had other technical difficulties, but not
Do
that.
that, but I'm not sure which one it is.
All right, so
Where's your
Technology's great when it works. So bad.
Weren't we just talking about our IT people?
Yeah.
yeah, if you know what you're looking at.
I'm guessing. Right there, right there.
Yeah, control alt delete.
Yeah, that takes care of everything.
There you go.
Yeah.
When all else fails. I said today at work I'm going off the grid. I'm done.
That's this one.
Okay,
Yeah, I
we're
didn't
watching.
read it.
Oh, boy. Something happened.
So you're identified as two, but
What's on the bottom up there?
Walk a fine line.
Yeah, I'm up there straight.
Another screen.
It's on.
Hammer.
Oh my.
Something.
Look at that.
Now you've got the, now you can play.
That's, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
I think that's how it is.
Thank you very much. That's great.
Thank you.
And you get two screens, and one doesn't play, you take it and swipe it all the way to the right.
If you do the two-screen, but last week we were just mirroring. But whatever.
Mirroring is where you want to be, but
Yeah.
I couldn't find it for 10.
Probably restart, right? That'll take care of it.
No, actually, it'll stay where it is.
Thank you very much.
Is that that's not the entire thing, is it? So if you
Yeah,
go
you
over
can
to
just-
the right and pull it over to extend bottom right corner?
No, just go down.
Just hit that box at the top, I think. There you go. See if that works.
Hey! What do you know? Woo!
Let me go put you on the spot, 'cause he comes early.
Yeah, it's a good thing you came early.
Are we ready to start?
Yes. All right, Jim, all yours.
I'm answering this.
So I guess we're back to water here, and I guess what I want to go over tonight is kind of maybe a little recap of what we discussed before with regards to providing water to areas of the town that aren't served right now. And I really kind of want to walk through the process. I think we talked a little bit about the funding process, which is what we're kind of looking for, particularly rural development. So I kind of want to walk through that process and what some of the steps are to hopefully make one of these projects a reality. The areas in red represent the areas that are currently unserved. And actually, there's obviously areas further to the north as well, but a good portion is areas south of 31, currently not served there. So the town had hired Jay Grassa to do the income survey. Results of that were, I guess, good in terms of getting the MHI, meeting household income, below that target level. It came up about 45,000, which is slightly below what rural development considers poverty level. So that's kind of step one of qualifying for that poverty interest rate and maximum grant dollars that you can get from rural development. So if you look at kind of a sheet I put together here, just an overview of the funding process. If we talked about there's different interest rates depending on your category, whether you're considered poverty, intermediate, or market conditions. Right now, the poverty rate for loan is 2.375, and the intermediate is 3.25, and that rate just changed. It came out with new guidance the past few days. If we can get that poverty rate on the grant side, you're eligible for up to 75%. And in the report we did, we kind of ran 3 scenarios in the back of that report looking at different project costs. And looking at market rate, interest rate with no grants. We did intermediate interest rate with 45%, or up to 45% grant funding. And then we did poverty, which is kind of the third scenario. So we're kind of, I guess I'd say we're kind of halfway there in trying to get that poverty level interest rate and grant eligibility. So, the other step, I've had conversations with the state engineer for rural development, had another conversation with the state director, Brenna Smith, out of Syracuse. To meet that other half of getting that poverty rate, you have to basically cite that there are well deficiencies in the area you want to serve. So what they want to see is they want to see a letter from Monroe County Department of Health that is basically citing that there are deficiencies there, quality, quantity issues, and certainly one way that a lot of towns try to address that is by doing some selective sampling in the system. Rural Development recommends that you do, if you can, up to 10% sampling of the area that you're looking to serve.
When you say deficiencies, you mean quantity or quality deficiencies?
It's going to be both, but they're obviously putting a lot more weight on the quality issues. So any type of water quality issues that can be demonstrated through testing.
And how, does a certain company have to do that, or how, is there specifics on how we do our sampling?
The department, the Monroe County Department of Health would provide some guidance on that.
Okay.
Yeah. But a lot of times it's something that could be done in cooperation with town personnel. Obviously, there has to be a lab to do the actual testing of it, but it could be, town or volunteers helping with the sampling and that.
Gotcha.
But certainly, we want to do that in concert with the Department of Health and make sure we're meeting their protocols, because in the end, we're going to need that agency to write that letter to rural development. So without doing those things, showing the well deficiencies and attempting a sampling plan, that then more than likely you're only going to then qualify for the intermediate, which once again only gets you up to that 45% of grant dollars.
If there's anything about past sampling, will that count?
I'm sure they would definitely, if there's any past sampling, they would definitely look at that. So if we have,
Because I know a lot has been done.
yeah, I think any historical information that could be provided would help support the cause here.
And how soon as a town job should we be working on this? Is this something we should be starting now, or?
Well,
do you-
I guess it goes hand in hand with the next step, which is your application process. So ideally, you want to be able to submit that information while you're also submitting the rest of your documentation for the application. And the application with rural development, it's a rolling application. They don't have a specific deadline, but their funding year starts. Well, they should find out sometime this month in terms of what their budget may look for next year. It may not be appropriated until early spring, but certainly it's more advantageous to try to get in there earlier if possible.
Mm-hmm. And there may be, one thing we also discussed, I think I reported last week that Jim and I met a few weeks ago to talk about this and upcoming meeting. One other strategy might be, so there's what is the term? When all the money comes back to Washington. There's a term for it.
Yeah, the reallocation.
So
they have to have a mid-year and end-year, what they call bonding pool, in face of the states that haven't used up their allotment. Money goes back into the federal coffers, and those states that have used up all theirs and still have projects on deck waiting can put a request in the Washington saying, we've used up all our funding, you extra, we would like to receive some of that.
Is that in addition to us trying to make an application to the rural?
No, same money. So after the all the monies get spent by all the states on all these projects across the country,
Okay.
they